Hi Flosstube, it's Penny. I'm back. This is my second video and I said I was gonna do these monthly. It's been about 3 weeks since I saw y'all and I was just so stoked to come back and talk to you guys again. I looked the other day and I saw that I had 87 subscribers and about 300 views for my first video, and I was just blown away. The comments that were under my video were very kind and just awesome to read, and I tried to respond to everybody I could, and it was just very overwhelming, so just thank you so much. So it really pumped me up to do this, to do my second video, so I couldn't wait. A little bit of a personal update. My sister, my twin, she is in labor right now with my nephew. I'm so excited, so I'm like geeking out, and for her it's been a long time coming. She's been pretty tired the last couple weeks, obviously, so I'm so excited. But yeah, so but for my pregnancy, I'm doing good. I'm in my 15th week. I'm kind of in that stage right now where, you know, you're over the first trimester nausea, and you're just kind of waiting for the third trimester uncomfortable time. So I'm riding this as long as I can. So for today, I have finishes in the sense of frame jobs. I got my frame job back, so I'm going to show that off. And then I have a haul. I've been shopping a little bit more than stitching, so I want to show off all my goodies. And then I have my whips and some, which are my work in progress, and my UFOs. I have 2 unfinished objects that I really want to get back into my rotation and get working on. So I know in my last video I said I need to come up with goals, and I think I came up with a good rotation plan. We'll see how it works, but this plan is better than what I had 3 weeks ago, which was nada. So I'm gonna get started with my frames. So this one is a Casey Bonarigo sampler. It's the Blueberry Pancakes, and I thought it came out very nice. Not just with the stitch job, but also the framing. Let's see if I can't back it up a little bit so you can see. Yeah. If you remember from my other ones that I've done, I had a flat frame like this. It didn't have quite the weathering on the side, but I thought it was going to complement very well since they didn't have the same frame, which was I was expecting because it was, you know, years ago. So this is the Blueberry Pancake one, and then my other one I had, it's the Hot Cocoa sampler. So I love this. It's this is similar frame to the Blueberry Pancake. Show up a little bit. It's a little harder to see this pattern on this fabric because of the lightness and the iridescence. It made it a little hard to do, especially these little stars. It was very hard to see. But it was fun to stitch. I remember I stitched this before for one of my coworkers for Christmas, and she loved it. She didn't get it. She was like, why are there only like 7 letters up here? Like, she didn't get the needlepoint cross stitch sampler thought process. So I had to kind of explain it to her, but she was blown away by it. And so I had to do it for myself. I love it. I love hot chocolate. It's great. I love it so much. And they did such a good job framing it. So those were my finishes. My haul, it was so much fun. So since I went to the framers, it's a 3-hour drive there and then 3 hours back, so 6 total hours. So I was like, I gotta get stuff while I'm here. Like, I just hit in a candy store, right? So I kind of did a shopping spree on both trips, so it was fun. My husband was very polite. These first 2 I didn't buy these patterns for myself. My sister's husband is a beetle maniac, and I just thought these were too adorable. I just had to buy them for her. So this one it's from Blackbird Designs, And it's the the sixth in the Magical Mystery Tour series. It's the Long and Winding Road. So Blackbird Designs, they did, you know, 6 designs based on Beatles songs. And this one's the Long and Winding Road, one of the few Beatles songs I actually know about. And I bought this for her to stitch. And she was very appreciative of it. Apparently her husband was very excited about it too, so I bought that for her. And then they also had the 5th one in the series, which is another song I know, one of the 10, but it's Yellow Submarine. And I first saw this and I just thought it was adorable to begin with. And then when I saw it was, because the first thing I thought of was the Beatles, and then I'm like, oh wow, it's actually a series of Beatles stuff. So I liked it, but I'll leave it to my sister to stitch it. I may stitch it at one point, but I don't think I would appreciate stitching it or the finished job as much as she and her husband would. So I'll leave that to them. But that was part of my haul. And then they also had a large amount of the CW designs, which I love. They used to be Barbara and Cheryl. I don't know why they switched to CW. I'm assuming they passed on and someone else picked it up. If anybody knows, let me know. I'm just curious. But I was happy that they had them because some of these I rebought. They're in that binder of patterns that I lost years ago, and I've been searching like crazy for it and I still can't find it. So I rebought some just in case I never do find it. But first one I got was A Perfect Setting. This was one I remember I just saw it and this makes me think Low Country. This makes me think like dream home, although I don't want to clean that many rooms. Maybe my maid will take care of it for me. And I do love these designs because they're whole stitches. So they're easy to do. They're kind of like a Mystic Stitch or Heaven and Earth design. A little bit simpler. So there's not as much detail, but there's still a fair bit of confetti, but they just stitch a lot faster. I love them. And I just love the subject matter with it too. It's just, this is my home. Well, not my house, but my geographic location. This one I bought, I saw it was stitched in the store and I loved it. It's the Pastel Reflections Pink House. And I just loved it. It looked very weathered, it looked very Upper King Street in downtown Charleston. Just that, you know, with the peeling paint and the shadow. There is a companion piece, the Blue House. I bought that too. So I'm super excited. These are going to end up being about 7.5 by 10 on 14 count or 28 count. So they're not super big. So it's it'll take me some time, but it won't take me ages and ages like it would with a Mystic or a Heaven and Earth. So this is the Blue House. I got that too. And I just saw the two framed next to each other in the store and they were just gorgeous. They just look so pretty. I just want to live there or be friends with the people who live there and have tea or sit on the porch and drink lemonade. Well, maybe not this porch, but that one. Or the stoop anyway. This next one, it's also CW design, and the cross stitch store that was in my town that closed a couple years ago, this was up on the wall and I always saw it and I was just like, it just brought a calm over me. I don't know why, but it's called Sanctuary and it's a church amongst the trees and the flowers. And I don't know if it was the way it was framed or just the stitch itself, but I loved it. I think it kind of reminds me of the church I went to growing up in North Carolina. Just a down home, I guess kind of off the beaten path, just comfort. Because you want to feel comfortable in a church, let's be honest. So those are the patterns I bought. Ooh, I I did buy something special for myself. I got an extra bonus at the end of the year. So I bought my husband a Yeti cooler, and I decided to be nice to myself a little bit. And it's a Medusa doll maker design. I've seen it. Nikki Cross Stitch stitches it, and I just thought it was fabulous. Don't know when I'm gonna get to it, don't know when I'm gonna finish it, but I was like, I have to have this pattern, I have to have the kit. It's the Gamer, and I just think she is gorgeous. My other hobby that I do is gaming. I love BioShock, I love Uncharted, I love those types of games, but I just love how you got like Sonic and some Zeldas and Mario, and then the little pipe monsters from Mario, and you know, so it kind of, and Tetris in the background, so it kind of goes back to the nostalgia gaming, which I grew up with as well. I remember the Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Sega Genesis, just all those, Sega Dreamcast, just playing those with my sisters growing up, and we just had a blast. And I still have, well, I had to rebuy my Sega Genesis and N64. I did that off eBay, so I play those games every now and again just to kind of bring me back. So I love it. I love her. I think she's gorgeous. It'll be fun. And I got the kit, so I have the pattern, the fabric, all the thread. It's impressive. It's something I might want to start when I start my maternity leave. I'm going to do it 1/25, so it'll be smaller, a little more easier to work with a newborn right there. You can just kind of push it out of the way. But I don't know. I need to work through my other projects first, but I'm excited. It's a good motivator to work through my stuff. Also, I had a haul today. I went through my threads, and because I was getting sick and tired of, do I have this thread? Do I need this thread? I thought I had it. Where did it go? And when I was at the cross stitch store 3 hours away in Rock Hill, I got the DMC thread chart, and it had all the colors listed on it. So I went through all my bobbins, went through the bag of extra thread that I had, and I just started marking off. What do I have? What do I need? What do I have? What do I need? And I needed 169 threads. And I was like, it's more than I thought, but less than I thought. So I had a 20% off coupon at Joann's, and so I bought what I needed. They still didn't have about 10 of them, but I got most of them, and the people behind me in line were mad. That line got super long, super quick, and my husband was there, my 3-year-old was there, or she's 2, but, and we were just like lining up the threads, getting them to the cashier as fast as possible. I'm the kind of person, yeah, I don't want to have other people waiting in line behind me, but at the same time, I've waited in line, and I have a transaction to make, and I have 160 threads, so it's going to take some time. And so I made the comment that, well, at least I'm not paying in pennies, I'm paying in dimes, so, you know, that saves us some time. I think some lady heard me and didn't appreciate it, but it is what it is. So I got those threads. There's still a couple more, but my other hobby now is going to be winding them on the bobbin. So I don't know where I think I have all this time for this. It's just nuts. But I did take a day off. It'll be coming up in February. So take a day off, stitch, watch TV, just have a me day. So I'm excited for that. The final thing in my haul is a frame, or I'm sorry, a stand. It's a lap stand. And I work with Q-snaps, and it's really hard to find a floor stand that works with Q-snaps. And I saw this lap stand made out of PVC. I was like, oh, that's perfect. That'll be perfect for me. And this, can't remember your name, but she was on Stitch Mania on Facebook, and she had it. And I messaged her and I was like, where did you get that? And she's like, well, I can only find it in the UK, and I could only find it in the UK. So, but another lady, I'm horrible with names, I'm sorry, she had a tutorial on how to make one. So I was able to make one, and it took me about $15 in PVC and about 2 hours of my time. And that included me having to go back to Home Depot to get the right connectors, but it's kind of hard to see. But yeah, so it's like a little lap frame. And then these are interchangeable for the size. Right now I have it set up by 8 by 11. So I have my stocking on it, but I could make it an 8 by 8 or 11 by 11. I could go back, get more PVC and make it bigger if I wanted to, but I don't want to. I don't have a need to right now. So I was super proud of myself for doing that, because I could have just easily been, okay, I'm going to go spend $60 and buy one and wait 3 weeks for it to come from the UK. But I didn't. Super awesome. Good job. My husband was happy too. So that was my haul. That was a lot bigger than I thought it was. When you get everything together, you're just, oh my gosh. So I'm going to get in my whips, my works in progress. Ooh, funny story about whips. So I was at work yesterday, and some of the recruiters were talking, and one of the recruiters that is from New York, he asked someone else, he's like, hey, when I say the word whip, what do you think of? And a couple people were like, well, Indiana Jones, like, whip, you know, and me, I'm like, work in progress, but I didn't say that out loud because I didn't want to. They already think I'm like a grandma, so it's like, no, I'm gonna see where this is going. And he's like, no, when I hear that word, I think of a car. And then I said out loud, I was like, oh yeah, like ghost riding the whip, like when you have your car running down the road and you're outside of it, dancing and running next to it with the car in motion. And Taylor, she turned around, she's like, Penny, you're a cool mom. You know that. You know, you're not one of those old, you know, I don't know, what was the word she used? She was just like, you're just a cool mom. And I'm like, well, thank you. Even though I was really thinking something very crafty and you might have thought uncool, but I have plenty of YouTube watchers and supporters to say that it is cool. So, but I thought that was funny. But anyway, back to my works in progress. So the candy cane stocking that I am working on for Tabitha, I've gotten some progress done on it. It is a lot slower than I thought, but I decided to just focus on the top section where her name is, and I've gotten some progress done on that. So, I can't see. So I got her name done. I'm just working on the background for her name so I can get the back stitching done so the T looks like a T instead of an L. So I've been working on that. And so once I get done with the background around her name and the back stitching, I might move off of it for a little bit. It's not that I don't enjoy working on it, I'm just kind of sick of it. But here's the rest of it, where I'm at. Can't see, I'll make sure y'all can see. So it's gonna take some time, I know that. And I wanted to be a good matriarch and get stockings for everyone in the family, so there are 3 more different patterns, but 3 more stockings to make. And my husband said he would help, but the other day he's like, I want to start working out more. It's like, I think you're fabulous anyway, but can you cross stitch while you're on the treadmill? I don't know. I don't work out, so I don't know. But that's the stocking. I work on that normally when I'm at home. I have that on my lap frame, and so I'll do that when I'm home. My tennis block sampler, this is coming along quite nicely. This is one of 2 that I have in my little bag that I take to work with me, and my work day starts at 7:30, but I usually get to work around 6:45, 7 a.m. And so I just stitch until my official work start. So I've been stitching. Last time I had, I think, like 1.5 ends done, and one box done. So I haven't worked every day on it, but every time I do work on it, I get very far with it. So it's going very quickly. So by my next update, I would like to have this done and framed. I do have the frame and the sticky pad. I'm gonna do the McKenna at every stitch counts technique. Save myself time, energy, and money and do it that way. So I'm excited for that. Getting close. So this other one, this is City Gardens Collection by Barbara and Cheryl. This is the first one. This one down here was one of my finishes from my last video. And so this one I'm working on now. And this was one my husband actually worked on. We originally bought this a couple years ago, and then I was working on this one. He was working on that one. And then he just kind of dropped it and became a UFO. So I'm going to make it an FFO. Pick up the husband's slack a little bit. So this is where we're at. I haven't really worked on it too much. I just literally found it and threw it in my stash. I think I got a little bit of this bush done this week. So, because I stitch in the morning and then at my lunch break. If I don't have a work lunch or an appointment or something, then I'll definitely stitch at work. So that gives me, you know, an hour and a half of stitch time, which is nice. Because when I get home, I don't always stitch because I'm either tired or late due to traffic, or Tabitha needs my attention, Trevor needs my attention. Something always happens. So I'm working on those. So those are my works in progress, my whips. So my plan is to finish the tennis. I like that. Finish the tennis. I'm going to finish this, frame that, and then work on this, and then this will be my work travel piece, because I can also do it at the doctor's or anything like that. And then with the stocking, when I'm done with Tabitha's name, I really want to pull back out one of my unfinished objects. I can't find the patterns for it, so I can't show you the finished product. I have them electronic, I just don't have them in paper format anymore. So the first one is the Queen of Clubs by Maxine Gadd, and it's stitched 1/25. And like, this is it. Oh, I remember this took me forever to do. First time I ever did it on something this small. But this is obviously the cute. It looks like a playing card. You know what? I'm gonna get fancy and insert a picture here. Okay, I hope that worked. So I'm still learning. You guys are very patient with me. I'm still learning. But so this is the cue, and then this is the start of her headdress. So I want to start working on this again, but I want to get Tabitha's name done. And because a lot of it is black, because of her headdress, hopefully that'll stitch through pretty quick. So if I can get like a page of that done after Tabitha's name, then I'll feel I've accomplished something. I also have another Barbara and Cheryl. Ow! There was a needle in that one. That hurt. It's another Barbara and Cheryl. It's Palm Shadows. I'm going to insert a picture here. Did that work? Hope so. Again, I don't have the finished product, but this is as far as I've gotten. I remember I bought this 2 years ago. I went on a work trip to Houston and brought this along with me, and haven't really touched it since. So I want to get back to this. So I think if I work between the stocking, the Queen of Clubs, and the Palm Shadows, work through those, I should get through at least maybe the Palm Shadows fairly quickly. Like I said, that plan may very well change, but a plan is better than what I had 3 weeks ago, which was nothing. So that is my video. A little longer than last time, but that's okay. I enjoyed our time. I also want to say again, thank you to my subscribers, my viewers. Appreciate y'all. I also want to say thank you to all the Flosstubers out there making videos. I've noticed a lot of people making their first video, and it is so nerve-wracking. It's really hard. There's a lot of time that goes into it, just setting up to do the video and then editing and uploading afterwards. So way to go, guys. Keep it up. This is only my second video, but it's already so much easier. So appreciate it. If you like me, you like my channel, subscribe. Definitely comment below. Love to hear from y'all. Love hearing some feedback. I can only get better if I hear from y'all. So I'll talk to you guys next month. At that time, I'll have an update, especially after, of course I'll have an update, after my day off to myself to stitch. So hopefully I'll have a little bit more progress on something. And I'll also know what gender my baby is. So fun stuff. So excited. So again, thank y'all and talk to you soon. Bye.